Hello. Welcome to the show. It's Monday, April 15th. I'm here. You're there. Or you're not. A couple people. Yeah, some things happen. Things happened this last week. Stuff to talk about. You know, that's what I get on here for. Talk about stuff. I got a compadre and Joe comes on. Here he is. There he is, buddy. What's up? You're kind of on time. I'll give you the benefit of the delay of message. So welcome to the show. Yeah, so last week some things happened. Looks like we're going to talk about the fact that we might have seen the start of World War III. I know we always say that, and it's kind of hyperbolic to say that, but if you read the Bible or you are religious in any way, then you'll know that it kind of calls for the conflict to start over there in the Middle East. And that's kind of what's happening. I mean, Iran is getting into the mix now, and that's kind of scary. Nuclear power. You know, that's what we're kind of worried about happening. Seems to be happening. Depends on what Israel's response is going to be, but who knows? So we'll talk about that. I mean, it's all we're riffing. Who knows? Also, we're going to talk about the mainstream media's love affair with Trump. I'm just going to show you some of the sites. It's kind of hilarious. You go to CNN anytime, any day, doesn't matter what's going on. Boom. Biggest thing is Trump. Something to do with Trump. The trial, all that kind of stuff. It's like, come on. What are they going to do when he's gone? I think they fold. I think they know this. The last, the death throes of a dying organization or many organizations. So they're just kind of riding this little Trump wave as long as they can. So we'll talk about that. Also, O.J. Simpson, the juice, the alleged murderer, all that. The first running back to ever hit 2,000 yards in a season. He died. He did. He gone. 76. If you didn't know that already, well, that happened. And he lied right to the deathbed, so that's kind of funny. We'll go over the story on that. I guess he was in hospice care and he lied about that. Anyways, we'll talk about that. Also, if you remember that whole movie set where Alec Baldwin shot two people, well, one person went through that person into the other one, killed the one person, unfortunately. Now the armorer, the girl that was in charge of providing the gun to Alec Baldwin, has now been charged or sentenced, I should say. Pretty nasty stuff. I mean, obviously somebody has to take a fall, but I think they both should have. One fires the gun, one arms the gun. Anyways, so we'll talk about that. Not too long, because I'm not all that interested. Also, crypto scams on the rise. We knew that was going to kind of happen, as when you see Bitcoin and all these other coins doing really well, and you get a bunch of new people wanting to jump on these bandwagons, makes way for a lot of scammers to get in on the action. So, what's up, Gizzo? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the scammers and the opportunities they take to take your money using cryptos, because they know that people aren't going to say shit. You're going to get your money taken, and then you're just going to be like, lick your wounds, and then you're going to fuck off and do something else. You're going to put your money in something a little more legitimate. So we'll talk about that. Also, AI is a problem. It's become a problem. We talked about it before, but now they're using it to kind of trick people on stuff. Like, I'm going to pull up a story about them using like AI images to say that, like to show things that happened in the Middle East that didn't actually happen. This kind of stuff can really, mess with those kinds of things happening over there. Obviously, right? When one side thinks that another side's doing something, they don't vet stories, and it gets on mainstream media. They start saying stuff, and then people believe it. This is the real misinformation that we've been hearing about. We always hear about this disinformation and misinformation. AI really is the real stuff, because any jagoff with a computer can screw around and make some images and use AI to generate some fake content, and then it's hard to know what's true and what isn't true. So we'll talk about that. Also, in the fake news story of the day, we're going to talk about the eclipse causing the moon to collide with the Earth. So that's our fake news story today. If you know the gist of the channel, I do that sometimes. So I'll read that and we'll talk about that, or we won't, or whatever. Yeah, if you haven't already and you're watching and you do like the podcast, do subscribe to the channel, because subscribing does help small channels like mine. Obviously, if I think people like it, I'm going to do it more. If I don't think you like it, I'm just probably going to go do something else on my Monday nights. But I got Gizzo and Joe here to keep me company. So it'll probably just be Gizzo, me, and Joe just talking shit. Me on camera, these guys on chat. Maybe if I can figure out, technology, I can get them on camera or something at some point, and they can talk shit to me in person. But yeah, so if you are watching, do hit the subscribe. If you do miss any part of the podcast and you want to catch the clips that I talk about, any stories I talk about, you can catch them at 5:00 during the week. I drop those usually between Tuesday and Sunday. Sometimes I get a bonus one on the Monday. Share that, like it, comment, all that kind of stuff. Engagement. That's the whole thing. Engage with the channel. If you like it, obviously, I don't need any pity. I don't make any money anyway. I just do this. This started as honestly, if you know the story, this kind of started with me and Tyler, a buddy of mine. If you look in old podcasts, and once in a while he'll come on, I guess. We were sitting out by the fire. We were having a beer, and we were talking shit, esoterical stuff. And we said, hey, why don't we do this on a fucking podcast? And so we did. And that's where it was born. And then Tyler flarted off, and I just kept it going because I don't know. I'm no quitter. So yeah, that's the story. So yeah, if you're here and you like it, like I said, subscribe. If not, whatever. Okay. Well, let's get on to it, man. I got 7 things to talk about today. I'm going to blast through a couple because I don't really give a shit that much about those. Just filler content, if you will. But a couple of things, obviously, to talk about that are pertinent. All right, let me cue this shite up here. Okay, boom. All right. So yeah, it might be World War III starting. Who knows? We saw some heated stuff happening over in Israel by Iran. I'm going to read this story here. This is Reuters. They're usually decent for this kind of stuff. They don't put too much spin on it, but let's see what they have to say. So Iranians anxious as Israel weighs strike response. So April 15th, today. The prospect of Israeli retaliation against Iran for its drone and missile attack on the weekend has alarmed many Iranians already facing economic pain and tighter social and political controls after protests in 2022 and 2023. Iran's political and military leaders have repeatedly warned that they will respond to any Israeli retaliation by escalating further, potentially triggering yet more attacks. That's funny, eh? So it's like somebody comes up to you, punches you in the face, and then they say, well, if you punch back, well, we're going to escalate this. Fuck you. Anyways, I mean, obviously, for all our sakes, we hope that it doesn't escalate, but, they would be, they would have course to escalate it a little bit. And that would only be bad news for ordinary people, said 45-year-old teacher Hassam from the northern city of Amal. Economic pressure will mount. Our safety will be jeopardized. We must avoid conflict at all costs. I don't want a war. How can I protect my 2 children? Nowhere will be safe. Housewife Parvana fears an Israeli strike could be the final hammer blow to the economy, weakened by years of sanctions, mismanagement, and corruption. She's referring to Iran, obviously. We Iranians have endured more than enough for years. War brings only disaster. My husband is a factory worker. We do not have enough money to buy staples, let alone stockpiling them, said the 37-year-old mother of 2 in the central city of Yazd. Or Yats, whatever it is. Hard to pronounce these things with my English tongue. Middle and lower income Iranians are shouldering much of the burden of the existing economic woes, with inflation over 50%, rising utility, food, and housing prices, and the rial currency. Oh, and the rial currency falling sharply. I guess that's their currency. I didn't even know that, to be honest. There's been pride mixed in with the fear over Iran's retaliation against what Tehran said was an Israeli strike on its consulate in Damascus on April 1st. I'm so proud of the attacks on Israel. They started it. We had to retaliate. Israel cannot do a damn thing. They know Iran is very powerful. Hossein Sabahi, 30, a government employee in Tabriz city, told Reuters. Shortly after the attack, state TV showed small demonstrations in small cities in support of Tehran's unprecedented assault, with people chanting "Death to Israel" and "Death to America." Whatever. I'm in Canada, so you guys put this shit on yourselves, I guess, over you Yanks. No, I'm kidding. We're one of your states up here. We will be more isolated, but the markets show the harsh economic realities behind the defiance. War jitters sent demand for hard currency soaring. The rial briefly plummeted to a new record low of around 705,000 to the US dollar during Saturday's attack, according to Bombast, which gathers live data from the Iranian exchanges. People are buying hard currency since Sunday. There has been a boost in my business due to the fear of war, said a businessman in Tehran. Iran's rulers may have something to worry about. The intelligence unit of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps issued a startling statement on Sunday, warning against any pro-Israeli posts by Iranian social media users, state media reported. Some Iranian opponents of the clerical establishment inside and outside Iran have gone as far as voicing support for Israel online. Many people are frustrated because of economic woes and social restrictions. An Israeli strike could unleash their pent-up anger and revive protests, which is the last thing we need when threatened by a foreign enemy, said a former official in Iran's moderate camp. The overall sense of anxiety only increased when some Western governments began evacuating the families of their diplomats, reminding older Iranians of the feverish atmosphere when Iraq invaded in 1980 or during the tumult of the 1979 revolution. Foreigners leaving Iran is a sign that we will be attacked by Israel. We will be more isolated. We will be more miserable, said engineer Mohammad Reza in Tehran, who, like others, do not want to give his full name. So, obviously, there's some fear going on in Iran. There's fear. Israel's lived in fear, since last year, since those awful attacks by Hamas. But I think Israel is kind of, they're used to being in the center of the conflict. They're like a, fish out of water over there, right? It's basically they're surrounded by a bunch of places that kind of hate them. But if this doesn't cool down, if this kind of heats up a little bit, we could be in trouble. This is scary shit when these two powers, one backed by the U.S. and the other backed by nuclear weapons and a little bit, unhinged, gets into it. So let's, if you pray, now might be the time to pray. All right. What do you guys got to say there? Yeah. AI fixes Biden. That's a good call on that. So we'll have an AI president pretty soon. You might as well. The one you got's pretty much dead anyway. So, okay. A new Biden quote: "Goats are like mushrooms because if you shoot a duck, I'm afraid of toasters." Is that a real? That's not a real quote. That's somebody messing around. That's still funny. Okay. On 3, we all stop retaliating. Yeah, true. I guess World War III is like Fallout, essentially, like that show. If you've played the video game Fallout, which I did, Fallout 4, it's hilarious, great game. But now the show's out, so post World War, that would be. It's not a far off future, I suppose, if this escalates. So, yeah. All right. Well, let me get on to the next thing here. This is my little Trump homage without talking too much about Trump. Okay, so Trump is in the news always. He never leaves the news because, let's be real, the mainstream news media, CNN, MSNBC, all those guys, even Fox, they all love him. They want to talk about him. So he's star number one. I'm going to show you something. I'm not even going to read this article. It's just, whatever. Check this out. This is CNN. Look at the first things on the page. And it's funny because they keep updating this all the time. When I first came on, it was like this massive picture of Trump. Now they just keep changing it around and stuff. But the first bunch of stories are all Trump. Then you got a little Biden one in here. Check this out. This is MSNBC. First thing, boom, Trump. Like, he's on the top of the list. Watch live. Ari Melber and team react to first day of Trump's historic hush money trial. these guys, they're out of their minds. They can't help it. They can't not talk about Trump. He's even when he's not saying anything that's completely newsworthy, he's just always newsworthy. They can't help themselves. They pretend like they hate him, but really they just love the shit out of this guy. It's just it's pathetic. It's quite pathetic. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me see let's see what MSNBC has to say about this. Well, that's a video. I don't want to put that on, but this breaking story here. Let's just read a little bit. Let's see how they frame this. Donald Trump's. I'm not supporting you. Get out of here, MSNBC. As if. Yeah, why would I support your shitty network? Donald Trump's criminal court appearance has so far consisted mostly of pretrial legal discussions before getting to jury selection. Among the issues raised Monday by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office was Trump's alleged violation of the gag order before jury selection even started. The prosecution asked Judge Juan Merchan for sanctions of $1,000 each for 3 Trump social media posts allegedly attacking Michael Cohen and others. So much for free speech. For him to tell Trump to take down the posts in question, and for Trump to be reminded that another such post could result in jail time. Wow. Just wow. You can say anything you want about him, but he can't retaliate on social media. So that's funny. The gag order, it should just be it should say a Trump gag order, not just a gag order, because it's very specific to him. Of course, Trump was already on notice that violating a gag order could result in imprisonment. Plus, he was fined multiple times in his civil fraud case for violating a gag order there. So it doesn't seem that relatively low-level fines would do much to deter Trump. Well, of course not. Like, what, now you're threatening to take all of his Manhattan properties, essentially. You know, you think he's worried about a couple $1,000 for gag order violations. You know, they've got to threaten him with jail and such. Anyways, I don't want to get right into this. This is it's just par for the course with these jagoffs. They can't help it. They love this guy. They love him so much. If he were to go away, I think they go away with him. Like, because what else are they going to talk about? They're going to talk about Biden? He's not even newsworthy. Even Fox News doesn't want to talk about Biden. He's just guy. It's like it's punching down. So, yeah. Anyways, so maybe the MSN should invite Trump to a room, because I think they need to get a room together. Was it Fallout 3 or 4? I can't remember which one is the last one. I think it's Fallout 4, isn't it? I can't remember if I cleared it or not. I played it in 2015, so it's been a while. Great game though. I watched a bit of the show too, Gizzo. I watched the first 2 episodes, I think. Yeah, pretty much the first 2 episodes. It's pretty good. I mean, it touches on a lot of the stuff from the game. You know, the big power suit's pretty cool. But you know, it changes. Obviously, there's like some woke touches in there, like there will be. You know, now I guess the main character's a girl instead of a guy, but whatever, doesn't matter. Oh yeah, so it's based on 4, yeah, because it is the one I played. I think 4 is the one I played. I can't remember. It's been almost 10 years now. So, but yeah, the show's pretty good. Standalone is pretty good. Even if you don't know the game. But that's the new thing, right? With the gore, they just want to shock people with the gore. It's all shows seem to be doing that. It's like they push the envelope further now. They make this sort of exaggerated, simulated, but realistic gore. Even enough to make me want to look away, which is, if it's really simulated, I don't care. But if it's done well, yeah, I can't look. But yeah, and the diversity, they have to do that. Obviously, I guess that's you want to play to everybody, because the thing about like the diversity casting and stuff, if you're smart and you do it right, you'll get people like us that will watch, and we don't mind, because we're like, okay, we understand the climate of the culture, right? But it's when you really try and shove it down our throats that we go, no, that's enough of that, right? Like I don't care. You can put gay people and trans people and all that kind of shit on shows and stuff. Doesn't bother me if it fits. If it's like, if it feels like you're just shoving it down my throat for the sake of, getting exposure to it or something like that, I'm like, fuck off. Like that's not, it's not making me want to watch your show. Just make it organic where it makes sense. You're like, okay, well, this, sure, all right. Like even if it's like a little bit of a stretch, but you're like, okay, well, whatever, I guess. Like, how many transgender people do you know? I don't think I know any, actually. Yeah, I don't think I know any. I know some gay and lesbian people, sure, but transgender, obviously, a little bit, whatever. But, and I know obviously a ton of different people in different races and stuff. So if you want to squeeze them in there and shit like that, and I know more interracial couples than I probably did when I was younger. Now it's, we're more of a blended world, like immigration opening the doors to a lot more people. So that's normal now, but it's when you shove it down your throats that really bugs me. Anyways, I'll get off that. I'll get on that tirade. All right, I'm going to get on the next thing here. Oops, wrong one. There we go. The juice died. That's it. The juice got squeezed. 76. He dead. He gone. If you hadn't heard, O.J. Simpson passed of complications due to prostate cancer at 76. About a week ago. I think 6 days now. The 10th or something like that. You know what? I don't think a ton of people are grieving it. I mean, okay. So I'm a little bit in the middle of this one. I thought he was a great football player. And I think that's cool that he was, he's a Buffalo Bill and he's a great football player and all that. I think he was kind of funny when he was on The Naked Gun and some movies and things like that. But, he did allegedly kill a couple people. Allegedly. Yeah. Wink, wink. So, yeah, the fact that he lived to 76 is probably a little too long. Let's see what they have to say in this article here. This is CBS News. O.J. Simpson died after battling prostate cancer at the age of 76. The former USC and NFL player who was famously acquitted for the murders of his ex-wife and her friend in the downtown Los Angeles trial of the century passed away on April 11th, 2024 in hospice care, according to his family. On April 10th, our father, Orthol James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren, not his ex-wife. During this time of transition, his family asked that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. The Simpson family posted on social media. Okay, blah, blah, blah. In a video posted on February 9th, Simpson denied reports that he was in hospice care and said he was preparing to host a ton of friends for a Super Bowl party in Las Vegas. No, I am not in any hospice. I don't know who put that out there. He said in the video, all is well. Looks like he was lying right to the end. Not that I blame him for that one. I wouldn't tell people either. But O.J. Simpson was a Hall of Fame football player and Heisman Trophy winner when he played at USC. He transitioned to sportscasting and acting after his football career, including appearances in films such as The Towering Inferno and the comedic Naked Gun movie series. O.J. Simpson also starred in a series of memorable commercials for Hertz, showing him sprinting through airports and dodging other passengers and luggage like football linebackers. Yeah, so Simpson became a cultural icon following the killings of his ex-wife and her friend in 1994 and his ultimate acquittal of murder charges following one of the most high-profile court cases in history. Yeah. So, sadly, that's basically what he's going to be remembered for. Most people aren't going to really remember that he was the first running back to score, to get 2,000 yards in a season, or that he was an actor. They're just going to remember the glove that didn't fit because he did a thing with his hand, I think. And and he got acquitted and then had rough go after that, I guess. It's hard to shake that thing. But O.J. Simpson gone now, so rest in peace, I guess. All right. Let's get on. Hero. American hero. Yeah, you know what? Like that's a hard blame on Cancer. I mean, Cancer's a good guy. I don't see Cancer doing that to somebody, especially going right after their asshole. Goes right up in his asshole and works on his prostate. That's rough stuff. Usually, prostate cancer kind of gets you earlier than that, I think. But I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so the thing with his hand was put a rubber glove on before. Yeah, yeah. Well, they made fun of that in Seinfeld. Remember the Seinfeld episode with the bra? And she tries to put the bra on top of the top. He's like, a bra is going on top skin. So, yeah, they were making fun of the OJ glove thing. So, you can also do a thing. I can make a glove kind of not fit if I want to try and make it not fit. I can do a thing with my hand where I'm like rigid with my hand. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. Neither here nor there. It's 30 years ago, and he's dead now. So, if he did or didn't do it, too late. Watch, they'll prove like next year that he did it. They'll have another trial. That's silly. All right, let me get on to the next one. This one, I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't even give a shit about this. I don't even know why I'm bothering to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Thanks for some content for a couple clips. Well, here we go. So do you remember this Rust thing where the armor gave a loaded gun? I don't know if it was loaded, but gave a gun to Alec Baldwin, who then shot someone on set, killing that person and injuring the person behind them. Well, the armorer that handed the gun to Alec Baldwin, who got away clean, by the way, was now sentenced to 18 months for manslaughter, for what do they call it? So involuntary manslaughter. I'm going to read this little article here. This is the Variety. It's not all that big of an article, but whatever. I'll stop when I get tired of it. The film armorer who loaded a live bullet in Alec Baldwin's gun on the set of Rust, leading to the death of a cinematographer, was sentenced Monday to the maximum term, 18 months in prison. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, 26, was convicted in March of involuntary manslaughter after a jury found that her negligence caused the death of Helena Hutchins. Judge Mary Marlowe Sommer said that Gutierrez-Reed had not shown any remorse. You alone turned a safe weapon into a lethal weapon, the judge said. But for you, Miss Hutchins would be alive. A husband would have his partner, and a little boy would have his mother. Before issuing the sentence, the judge heard from Hutchins' relatives and friends, from her agent and her Rust director, Joel Souza, who was struck in the shoulder by the bullet that killed her. Hutchins' mother, Olga Solovey, and sister Svetlana Zemko addressed the court in pre-recorded videos from Ukraine where they live. The day of her death ruined my entire life, Solovny said, speaking in Ukrainian. It's heart-wrenching to see her child grow without his mother. Souza also spoke of the deep loss caused by the tragedy. What I want is simply not possible. I want that none of this ever happened, that everyone is okay, that lives weren't destroyed, he said. One moment the world made sense, the next moment it didn't, and it still doesn't, and I don't know if it ever will again. Okay, so yeah, sad. When I took on Rust, I was young, and I was naive, but I took my job as seriously as I knew how to, she said. This is what Chicky was saying. Despite not having proper time, resources, and staffing, when things got tough, I just did my best to handle it. I beg you, please don't give me more time. The jury found me in part at fault for this god-awful tragedy, but that doesn't make me a monster. That makes me human. Gutierrez-Reed's father, veteran film armorer Thel Reed, also asked for mercy. It's a horrible tragedy for that wonderful lady Helena to lose her life, he said. Also, it would be a tragedy to put my daughter Hannah in the penitentiary for that. Okay, well, all your pleading didn't seem to do anything because she got a sentence of 18 months. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's fair? Do you think it's not fair? I don't know. I think the fact that Alec Baldwin got nothing, he's the one that aimed the gun. He's the one that shot the gun. I agree. I think she should be charged with something. And 18 months seems, it's kind of light, I guess. I don't know. A year and a half for somebody losing their life. I don't know. Just it's all the way. It all the way sucks. Put it that way. But somebody had to be accountable, and I just think both should be, not just her. Well, let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah. It's whether it was Baldwin or not, like it's just a stupid, arrogant thing to do, to aim a gun at somebody when you don't have to. The cameras are shooting in all different directions. It's not like it needed to be aimed at the cinematographer. It could have been aimed off just in case. This has happened before. This is not the first time this kind of thing has happened. So, knowing that, like, just for example, if you've ever shot a gun, if you've ever used a gun in any way, anytime, whether it's the safety's on, whether it's not loaded, it doesn't matter. You're still not supposed to point it directly at somebody because you just don't know. You can't, unless you've verified the gun completely and maybe the firing chamber's out of it or something. Like there could be something in there. Sometimes there's whatever piece of something in there in the firing mechanism or something that can actually dislodge. There's all kinds of things that can happen. I would never point a gun at somebody directly. And if you do, you kind of got to eat it a little bit, especially if something happens. Unless you're playing Russian roulette, then that's your excuse. I do like Alec Baldwin, though. I'll be honest with you. I think he's funny. He's, I've always kind of liked him. I think his dry sense of humor, on 30 Rock, he was funny. So I don't know, whatever. But still doesn't change the fact that he was negligent. Whatever. It's over now. I think that'll be the end of this thing, and he'll move on, and he'll live to shoot again. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. That was not nice. All right. Okay, with that, let's get on the next thing here. Of course, crypto scams are up. Obviously, crypto is hugely, wildly popular now, thanks to the crazy rise of Bitcoin and others, Ethereum and the like. And with the instability of just fiat currency in general, hyperinflation, and uncertainty of what's going on the planet, people are going to be trying to put their money in all kinds of different things. Cryptocurrency seems to be the newest, best craze, I guess. And of course, whenever that kind of thing happens, you get a bunch of scammers. Anytime something gets popular, you're going to find the losers come out to see what they can take from it. I'm going to read this article here. This is Cointelegraph. I'll be honest, never even seen these guys before I got this article, but let's see what they have to say here. So, Crypto Sleuth warns of scammers behind the DeFi protocol. Okay. Pseudo-anonymous blockchain investigator Zach XBT issued a warning about a group of scammers attempting to entrap more victims in a new fraud using millions of stolen funds. In a thread on X, Zach XBT disclosed the findings of an investigation over Leaper Finance, a lending protocol based on Blast. According to the analysis, the group is behind several rug pulls, including those that hit users of Magnate 6.5 million, Kokomo 4 million, and Soulfire 4.8 million, and Lendora. In the past, they let the TVL grow to 7 figures before stealing all those user funds deposited to the protocol and falsify the KYC documents, which is Know Your Client documents. Anytime you're doing any kind of investment with anything, you have a KYC document has to be filled out, so that's what they're referring to. Plus, use low-tier audit firms. They have now launched scams on Base, Solana, Scroll, Optimism, Arbitrum, Ethereum, Avalanche, etc., noted Zach XBT. The group is also believed to be responsible for scams on Hash DAO, Glory Finance, and Zebra DAO. Some of these you're not even going to know. Some of these I don't even know. But anyways, you get the gist. Obviously, they're launching scams on all these different sites and all these different platforms, essentially. So losses attributed to the group are estimated at over 20 million. The rug pull takes place when the developers of a blockchain-based protocol suddenly withdraw all of their funds from a liquidity pool or project wallet, essentially draining the funds invested by others. This usually happens without any warning, leaving investors with worthless tokens or assets. And of course, if that's happening with cryptocurrency, who's going to be complaining? And who are you complaining to? Most of this money that people are putting in cryptocurrencies and such it's not like, this isn't like after tax dollars where people are like, oh, this is all legitimate funds and this is like probably a lot of it is young people, maybe between the ages of like 16 and 21, and they're just throwing money in there and they don't know what to do anyway. If they lose the money, they're like, what do I even do? They're not going to go to the SEC. If they did, what are they going to do? So it's like these scammers know that. They know this is easy pickings. All they have to do is, be good with the, with the technical end of this, and they can scam a bunch of would-be investors. As part of the latest scam endeavor, the group reportedly funded a Leaper Finance address on the Blast network with nearly $1 million laundered from previous scams, adding further liquidity to lure victims. Shortly after Leaper Finance's connection to the scams was revealed, the group replied to Zach XPT, harassing the investigator while announcing a token launch. Nice work, my comrades here at Lazarus. Fear you yet admire you. Fear you yet admire you, they said in reference to the North Korean hacker group Lazarus. Leaper Finance and Glory Finance accounts on X have been deactivated, and the project's websites have also gone dark. So the thing about this too, you'll see sometimes, like Binance got hit. Sometimes these bigger platforms will get hit too, right? So again, what do you do? I mean, I haven't been the victim of any of this yet. I do have some stuff on some of these, like I have cryptos on Binance, for example, and I haven't been the victim of it yet. But if it were to happen, I'd probably just take the loss. I'll be real with you. So that's the problem with this. It's going to be like the Wild West over here until they. Okay, here's the catch. If you don't legitimize it, if you don't get the SEC involved and have regulation on it, well, then you don't have protections and such. Like CDIC protects your bank accounts up to a certain amount of money if somebody were to scam your bank accounts, right? Credit cards, if you've ever had a credit card defrauded, the easiest thing possible. You just call the credit card company, say, these charges weren't mine. Bam, they reverse them. They go back. They discontinue that card. They send you a new card, and away you go. I've had it happen to me like 5 different times. Usually gas stations. Gas stations are the worst, by the way. So my advice, obviously, on that would be use your credit card. Don't use your bank card. If you've ever had your bank card or your bank account emptied, good luck getting that money back. You ever had your credit card done something to? The easiest thing in the world. So, but with these cryptocurrencies, no, it's not going to be the same. Nobody's going to, insure your money or come to you and be like, okay, well, you know what, you got scammed, so we'll make you whole. Not going to happen. You're just going to be left holding the bag. So be careful, obviously. User beware, buyer beware, investor beware. Because they're out there. These scammers are out there, and they're coming for your money. Oh, Gizzo, that's nasty. Yeah. Oh, I'll read it. Doesn't matter. It's on the podcast. It's not going to be on the videos. Gizzo said of Alec Baldwin, he wasn't aiming at the cinematographer. He was aiming at his unborn child. Ouch. That's awful. Oh, baby killer. Abortion bad. Oh, you've got a cool bank about that kind of stuff? That's good. I mean, I know people, I've never, like I said, it's never happened to me, but I'm very, I don't use my bank for anything. I use my credit card for literally everything. For one, I get cash back, so it's advantageous for me to use it. It's zero, there's no annual fee. Doesn't cost me anything. It costs, sorry for all the vendors. It costs them money. So if you're a vendor, you're the one paying for the service fees that credit cards, that the customers aren't paying for. So, but I like the fact that I've been hit like 5 times and it's never affected my money. I just, or sometimes they'll call me. I mean, they've frozen my card. One time I actually left my card. I left it in the machine at the gas station. I forgot. And then somebody got a hold of it and charged a whole bunch of stuff. But I didn't have to pay for any of it. So, oh, see, look at that. Joe, stop using your debit card, buddy. Start using cash or credit card. That's what I do. Cash and credit card. That's it. The only place I use my debit card is the bank. I go to the bank. That's it. I don't use it anywhere. Oh, actually, no. Technically, I use it for one other place. I use it when I'm buying in on poker sites sometimes. So one poker site, I have it all set up to my account. That's it. Well, if you've got a bank that's going to give you back your money, carry on, I suppose. I just don't trust it. So I'm not going to do it. I've heard horror stories where people got to fight to get their money back, and I've never had a problem whatsoever with my credit card. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe your banks are a little bit better. Yeah, 20% more. What do you mean? You got to pay 20% more for what? When you're using your credit card, you mean? Like, I just don't carry a balance ever. I just pay it off. Use it, pay it off. Use it, pay it off. Use it, pay it off. I don't pay interest. Fuck that. I don't pay interest on anything other than auto and mortgage, obviously. Other than that, nope. I just pay cash for everything. All right. Let me get on the next thing here. So AI is now messing with. I mean, well, it's always been messing with everything like news media and stuff like that. But it's kind of playing games where it shouldn't be playing games, or people are playing games with it where they shouldn't be playing games. The newest thing here is this conflict in Israel now and the rising tensions with Iran. I'm going to read this article. This is the Times Now. This is I've read a couple of articles from these guys. They're not too bad. Beware of these fake old videos amid Iran-Israel conflict. Several fake, mostly AI generated and old videos of missiles and drones are circulating on social media amid the Iran-Israel conflict. This comes as Tehran launched a barrage of missiles and drones towards Tel Aviv on Saturday. Social media users posted visuals claiming they were from the scene. We have found a few of these videos to be fake and some are old. Several fake, mostly AI generated and old videos of missiles and drones were circulating. Oh, why they put that twice? Okay, come on, guys. This is bad when you make me read the same thing twice. Number one, visuals of Palestinians celebrating at Al-Aqsa Mosque. This video is old. Similar visuals went viral on social media days after the October 7 Hamas attack on Israel. Some of these photos are from EID celebrations and protests at the mosque. So this video here. Okay, so there's another one that says Israel getting hit by Iranian missiles. There's currently no confirmation that Iranian drones or missiles have hit Israel. Red alerts have been issued in parts of Israel and sirens sounded across Jerusalem. So here's another fake one. Okay, screaming's hilarious. Yeah. Okay, so here's another one. Massive drone strike in Tehran. Social media users shared a video claiming there has been massive drone strike in Iran's capital, Tehran. Ex-users add that the Israeli Mossad has claimed responsibility for it. There is no official confirmation for this. So here we go. SMB. Breaking. A massive drone strike has occurred in Iran's capital, Tehran. The Israeli Mossad has already claimed responsibility for it. Imagine what one drone did. Like, just for one, they should be looking to see what account it is. If it's a verified account, that's pretty sad. Why are you posting this shit if it's not verified? But all right. Number 4, Israel burning. Videos showing blasts in Israel are going viral. As we reported earlier, there's no confirmation of a missile hitting ground or causing damage. So, yeah. So these AI videos, you know now that they can do that. They can use AI to make videos. They can change stuff around. They've been doing that for a little while now, for like at least a year or two. And using old videos. That's not even something that's new, though, unfortunately. They've been using old videos to claim bullshit for a while now. But we've got to watch. Oh, hey. Hello, Chrissy. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, so she just screwed me up. You just screwed me up, man. Expect you see there. Is AI just getting smarter than us? Are we going to be tricked by AI all the time? Are we that dumb that we just can't sort of, that we're not going to vet things anymore? We're just going to trust whatever our eyes are telling us? Well, we've gotten to the point now where we can't really do that. So it's incumbent on people now to do a little bit more, vet things a little bit more before you start putting them out there and sharing them and saying them. Because then, like a story being told at the campfire that's wrong, it can just spread like wildfire. So, and again, like I said, I think humanity's kind of dumb on the whole. So we should watch what we trick ourselves with. Okay, what are you saying there, Gizzo? There's a permanent YouTube live stream of the Western Wall on Temple Mount in Jerusalem, and you could see the attack on stream over the weekend pretty well. Yeah. Well, hopefully you can trust that. At least I know that they have that permanent live stream, which is cool. But again, with this kind of thing, I don't know. If somebody can hack it, somebody can get in there and mess with it. I don't know. Don't trust your lying eyes lately. It's weird stuff. But this whole AI shit adds this weird other element to it, where already they do, like, so mainstream news media already, they just pump out shit before they can even vet it. It's just, doesn't matter if it's true, doesn't matter if it's legit. First, it's just whoever can say it first, because it's basically like gambling. They're like, okay, well, we got this story, we don't know if it's true or not, but if we don't get it out and it is true, we're like last to it. So they get it out, and then they do all the damage with the damn story. And if they do retract it, it's like this small retraction way down at the bottom somewhere where nobody's reading, but they can say they posted it. They're like, oh no, we posted a retraction. So they don't give a shit. It's just sensationalization and first to get it out there. So, and AI is going to make that worse, I think, unfortunately. And stuff like this, when you're talking about, like, conflict, where this can affect conflict. Now if somebody's reacting to fake video of something and in retaliation for something, for example, wow, you can't really unretaliate the retaliation, can you? It's kind of like the movie Hunt for Red October. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I don't know if it's, I should say, yeah, I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's based on the fake nuclear attack. So there was this thing where the Russians were told that there was a nuclear attack, and this submarine was basically told to go ahead and launch its nukes, and the commander of the sub, luckily, took a breath and didn't actually do it right away, and tried to make sure and vetted that it was legit. And because of him stalling like that, he found that it wasn't true. That didn't actually happen. But imagine if he just jumped to, right? If and you could see that with like AI images. Somebody posts AI images, and then the news media jumps all over, and they're like, "Oh, Tehran's being attacked," and then suddenly, boom, Tehran's like, "Oh shit, we got to react," and they start shooting missiles, and it turns into chaos, right? All because some asshole posted some convincing AI video that went viral for a second. It's scary shit. Anyways, but we're not smart enough right now to discern the difference between that. It's going to take us a little while before we can. What'd that say? Captain Pussy Down. Well, probably a good thing, Gizzo. You wouldn't be able to smoke a joint right now if you didn't. I wouldn't have this podcast right now. It'd be, or we would. Maybe we'd have like a extra like arm or something coming out of your head. It would be all like mutated things. I don't know. But yeah, he did pussy out a little bit. All right, let me get on to the next thing here. The last and final thing. Okay, so if you remember the eclipse that just recently happened, now it looks like there's a report that eclipse may have caused a shift in the moon's trajectory, causing it to eventually hit the Earth. I don't know. Weird, wild, bullshit stuff. Let me read this article here. This is CNN. This is the Clown News Network here. So it says, recent eclipse sent the moon on a cosmic collision course with the Earth. So have you noticed things have been a little off since the recent total eclipse that covered most of North America? Well, you wouldn't be alone. Some self-described astrological experts have noticed some interesting changes in our celestial friends, the Earth and Moon, since the eclipse. Armed with some protractors, a flat Earth globe, some string, and a few pencil crayons, members of the Rhode Island Youths unite against all the bad things we're told could hurt humanity or otherwise known as the Rhode Island Muffin Patch, have determined that the moon is on a collision course with us sometime between tomorrow and 300 trillion years from now. Adrian Mendelsohn and Carrie Derberger are the lead astrologists on the project and do their best to explain the very complicated process they use to determine their findings. When you take into account the vacuum of space and the buoyancy of the Earth and the firmament, and times it by the factor of the sun's pull on everything, You reach a conclusion that ends in the inevitable collision, claims Derberger, as Mendelsohn sits to her left, nodding at everything she says. It's hard to argue that kind of extensive science, so CNN has chosen not to verify or even qualify this story at all, as it fits into the narrative of fear-mongering and alarmism which the station prides itself on. At least 3 other members of the Rhode Island Muffin Patch agreed with the findings. We were charged with searching for a link between the eclipse and climate change after watching The View. They're referring to Sunny Hostin's earth-shattering assertion that the eclipse was somehow related to climate change. Sadly, we were unable to stretch the science enough to come close to making that stick, so we landed on a cataclysmic collision theory. Mendelsohn and Derberger have begun a group to bring awareness to this newly made-up crisis, and they plan to begin protesting as soon as their parents can drive them to nearby sites that sadly aren't on bus routes. They hope that with the help of the mainstream news media's propaganda arm, that they can get this message out to easily influence people and really get some traction behind this that will lead to change for the better of society. Since we don't know when this may or may not happen, we should take measures to plan for it now, says Derberger. With the help of these little special needs trailblazers, humanity should be well on its way to preventing further doomsday events and possibly putting an end to all future eclipses. So it's a good thing that we got these little trailblazers out there doing the work, doing the science work. It's nice to see them out there and really tackling this and putting the work in. They've obviously done all the science. So is this true? Is this not? I don't know. You tell me. Let me know in the comments what you think. You like that? Because the irony of Alex creating fake news using AI is not lost on me. I didn't use AI. I write these. I actually write these. So I write them in about 10 minutes. I should use AI. Tyler would use AI for sure. I just like writing. So sometimes I try to make myself giggle. What I actually do, just so you know, I didn't do it this one. I usually write them, and then I call my sister and I read it to my sister. My twin sister, by the way. I have a twin sister. I read it to her because she's got kind of the same sense of humor as me. And if she laughs, then I feel good about it, which I shouldn't because she's got the same sense of humor. Of course she's going to laugh. But she's kind of like my testing poll for it. So I didn't this time. I just put it out there. I wrote this literally at around 5:30. So, I just had to get it out there. Hot off the press, boys. Hot off the press. So there you go. Joe, come on, man. Didn't you hear what I said? It's the Rhode Island Muffin Patch was like the short form for it. So I was gonna do a whole acronym for it, but yeah, that would have taken work. I wasn't into doing that. Listen, Gizzo, don't give me shit. Both of you guys are you guys dating or something? You guys are both on me about the Muffin Patch shit? That was kind of funny. You call the weak people muffins. So they're the Muffin Patch. Yeah. Anyways. The moon is very slowly leaving the Earth. Very, very slowly. I think we got more worries about the sun eating us in the next couple billion years when it turns into a red dwarf than the moon leaving us. Unless it just takes off, because it's probably a spaceship. And then eventually it says, all right, that's enough. And it leaves and we're on our own. And then all our tides go to shit. Anybody living on coastal lines are all screwed. Anyways, maybe that's a whole other, that might be a whole other conspiracy theory. We'll see. All right. Well, that's it, boys. That's all I got. That's it. I'm at 55 minutes. You fuckers have razzed me enough. Listen, it's tough to come up with podcast shit, especially when you have to do it around 5 o'clock and I got to go live at 7. So, I think the moon is sick of our bullshit. I agree. Yeah. It's thankless, or we're thankless of it, I should say. But, thanks for joining the chat, boys. Thanks for making it fun for me, at least. Not as ridiculous or boring. Oh, sorry, my back's itchy. What's that say? Rhode Island Muffin Patch sounds like a slang for Providence's red light district. Yeah, well, maybe that's where I got it from. I don't even know. It just kind of came to me. As with most of my bullshit writing, it just kind of comes to me at the inflow, if you will. I get an idea for a stupid conspiracy and then I just write it. So I did have a guy comment on one of them where he was like calling bullshit, which I thought was hilarious. I want them to go more viral so I can see what more people would say. See how many people actually believe it and shit. But whatever. I get a kick out of it. So fuck you. I don't care. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks to anybody else. I saw the chat, or the viewers keep going up and down. So the people coming in, going out, probably scared by YouTube fools in the chat. They don't want to jump in because they're like, these guys got it all under control. But if you did watch, thanks for watching. If you aren't a subscriber yet, do hit the subscribe. Do like, there it is right there. Hit the like, all that kind of stuff. Share. Check out the videos. Like I said, if you didn't catch the whole podcast, you can catch my videos 5 o'clock between Tuesday and Sunday. Sometimes a bonus one on Monday, depends if I want to. I don't know. I got to do thumbnails for all these videos, so it's, and this last week I missed one because I was busy. But yeah, so just catch them that way. Like, share, all that kind of stuff. Engagement, people. Engage with the channel if you like it. If you don't, well, that's cool. Just wait me out. If you don't engage, maybe I'll just eventually just go away. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna do this till I'm dead. Maybe like 80. I'll still be doing this stupid podcast. By that point I'll have like 1,000 subscribers, so we'll be getting somewhere. All right. Thanks for joining me, guys. And yeah, we'll see you next Monday, unless something happens, unless the world ends. World War III actually ends us. Otherwise, I'll see you at 7 o'clock. Thanks for watching. See you, Gizzo. See you, Joe. Take care, everybody. Oh, I'm having trouble.